Well, Joe, I would wager to say that last week's episode aged badly for you. Whether on how the Celtics fared against the Bucks, even though the series is still ongoing, they are facing elimination now, or how your eating habits influence how the Celtics play. Either one probably deserves re-examination. Also, apologies if you hear this whirring noise in the background. That is the fan in my room. My room in the house is the hottest in the entire state of New Jersey, apparently, because it gets really, really warm. So that fan is the thing standing between me and collapsing. So please bear with it. Another thing you're going to have to bear with is me talking about horse racing, because this is probably one of the last things that I honestly expected to be talking about when we started this show. But seeing as the Kentucky Derby is absolutely dominating the headlines from the last few days, I kind of can't avoid this story. Basically, for those who don't know, who are looking back a few years from now, or have been living under a rock for the last, I'd say, 4 days, something like that. Maximum Security was the initial horse that won the Kentucky Derby. But upon review, it turns out that on the final turn, the horse pushed another horse out of the way. And so, Maximum Security, the 4-1 odds-on favorite to win, was disqualified. And at 65-1 odds, Country House, who is one of the lower seeds in the race this year, ended up winning the tournament. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of people were angry. I had a few co-workers who were upset about the incident. Even someone who put money on Country House, which made no sense, but whatever. Basically saying, how could they disqualify Maximum Security when he clearly dominated, and it wasn't even Country House that was the horse that was nudged out of the way. Here's the problem with that, though. You don't know what that horse might have done. The horse that was pushed out of the way slowed down and interfered with several other horses that were nearby. So in turn, Maximum Security interfered with several horses, honestly. And through the law of unintended consequences, you don't know. Maybe one of those might have pulled away, overtaken Maximum Security, had a nice clean finish. The only reason Country House was selected was because he was second place when the race was concluded. While it might be nice to award one of the horses that was interfered with first place, you don't know if Country House might have still taken over. Now, does this have any impact on any other sports? Well, yes, actually, because what we're talking about right here is instant replay. The fact that people had to go back, look at what happened, and determine if there was interference. We've seen this all the time in sports. Look at the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams on the misplay that happened there, that if that was called correctly, or if they had gone to a replay there and determined there was a foul, that could have changed the entire complexion of the series. Baseball, too, if there was replay on Armando Galarraga's almost perfect game, or on Jeffrey Meyer catch for the New York Yankees in 1996, those could have changed the entire complexion of the series. And I know I like to rail sometimes against bad uses of replays. You know, for baseball, that I say that they should really tighten up the amount of time allowed to challenge and the amount of time that should be replayed. But when all is said and done, I think that replay has done a lot of good for the sport, cleaned up a lot of otherwise bad calls, and have made the game much more fairer and sometimes more tense, that sometimes you don't know, did he actually get it? Are they going to overturn it? Do they even have enough to overturn it? It's added dimension of a bit of unknown that sometimes gets rid of some frustration on the player's end, and sometimes adds excitement for the fans' end, unless the replay takes about 4 hours, but that's another story. That's all I have in the meantime about sports and horse racing, because I don't know a lot about horse racing, which is not a surprise. I'm going to go and have tuna fish for lunch, probably somewhere between the healthy and unhealthy end of the spectrum, but, well, I don't know. I enjoy it, so that's all I can do. Anyway, I will see you next week, hopefully talking about something that I know a lot better, like baseball. See you then.